Greetings, Beth Warriors. Greetings. Greg is back. So are you. Results kill excuses. 1% better every day. Journal Volume 2, Day 44. Yeah. I love synchronicities. I'm seeing the numbers. I'm always seeing the numbers. Do you see the numbers everywhere? 4 is a powerful number for stability, for support. You think about a table. There's been a lot of times in my life where I didn't have support under me. I didn't even feel like I had my own 2 legs under me. But when you think about a table, the strongest tables have 4 legs of support. And you think about your life, do you have support? Are you building a support system there along this journey called life? Today's a day to maybe reflect on a little bit of that as we also reflect on our emotions, our feelings. We all have the feels, don't we? And I know that from a masculine male perspective, throughout much of my life, I was sort of programmed to suppress the feels, the emotions. And it becomes a thing where whether it was a teenager, right, through adolescence, teenagers, young adult life, military, just, hanging with the guys, it's like, you don't show emotions. And if you do, there's a lot of stigma about it. So a lot of men we suppress, and a lot of us, we're eating our emotions, right? Do you ever eat your emotions? Do you ever get caught up in, right, just being nervous but not really connecting? See, that's the thing, is we're not connecting. Well, this is a time and a place for you to connect. And I'm seeing 144, talking about numbers. That's wild. It's 144 as I'm recording this, and that's, a chosen number. But there's that 44 just to synchronize that. Let's just ask that everything that's said in this lesson and everything that's going on for you as the receiver of this message is in alignment, as I just see 222 as well. So lots of alignments here, some beautiful things. I hope that this message will help you to really just connect with your inner self. And we want to expand on accepting ourselves, and the part of ourselves that we have the hardest time accepting is the part that's wounded. It's the part of us that we wish we never had to have. And so we want to ignore it and we want to run from it. But this is not the path of success. The path of success is to sit and experience and acknowledge what you've done. If you can ever, whether in reality or in just your imagination, and it's okay to have an imagination here. If you can just imagine you having a conversation and an interaction with the wounded inner child that you have. And now here you are as someone that's growing and expanding. And, you think about, how would you treat a little child that came walking in your room right now? If there was a little boy or a little girl that came in your room crying and really upset and really scared and really sad and really afraid, would you tell them, hey, you stop that, stop crying, why are you crying, you're bugging me, I don't have time for you? Some of us, that's like our initial thing, because that's how we were treated. We were not received. We were rejected for being emotional, being in our feelings. And thus, what does the little child think? Because the little child's coming to the adult to be nurtured, to be comforted, to be reassured that everything's going to be okay, or to even just hold space. Can you just hold space for yourself? That's what's happening here. We need to reprogram. We need to reparent ourselves. This is the core. This is the root. This is what is your opportunity right now to reparent yourself in that beautiful, loving, kind, understanding, compassionate, emotional, intelligent way. Don't be so hard on yourself. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. If you need to go out in the wilderness and rage and rah, go do it. A lot of times in the breath work I coach, we give ourselves an opportunity to have a release. And it's like you cover your face with a pillow and just rah, rah. And usually I go from the rahs to the weeping, because underneath the anger is really sadness. It's fear. And I've given myself that permission. Will you give yourself that permission? I hope that by the end of this journey, this 1% journey, that you're really starting to raise your vibration and really starting to elevate from that self-sabotage to the self-awareness, ultimately to self-mastery. That's where we're aiming for. That's the aim. That's the goal. That's what we want. Self-mastery. Is it perfection? No. You guys know this. It's not perfection here. It's excellence. Because every experience, every day brings a new opportunity to learn and grow and expand to become the next best version of you. So let's get this lesson started. Thank you for being here. As always, you know the drill. This course content is not medical advice. Please seek medical help if necessary. This is a self-help approach aimed at improving your overall health and wellness. Results will vary based on your efforts towards embracing making positive life changes. So how do we sit with and process our feelings? It's one of the hardest things to do. It's literally that right there. Sitting and processing feelings is what everyone that has an addiction has not learned how to do. Doesn't even acknowledge that it's an option. We have literally programmed ourselves to say, I don't feel good. I don't feel safe. I had the bad encounter with an adult figure. I'm speaking in hypotheticals here. And because of that, I felt something was wrong with me. And so now what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I remember when I would get punished, if I did something bad, I didn't have a parent that would sit with me and say, hey, let's talk about this. What's going on? How are you feeling? You know, what was going on when that happened? No, I got punished. I got literally like micro excommunicated to my room, silent treatment, isolation, to do what? Self-soothe, to cry with all my little stuffed animals, like in my closet in the dark, not knowing what's going on. So can we sit with our feelings? Can you even really allow yourself to master the feelings? Going all the way back to 1% Better Every Day Journal, Volume 1. Continuing to sit with the emotional wheel, improving your emotional literacy, your emotional intelligence, and your emotional capacity to sit with all feelings, the full spectrum of feelings, and to allow yourself to experience these things, knowing that if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed out, if you just sit with it and breathe and just self-soothe, reparenting, it goes away. It literally goes away in a matter of minutes versus suppressing it and then having the leakage. That's what we want to avoid. So I'm here to help you identify some ways to really sit with and process feelings. So how do I sit with and process my feelings? The most effective way to process feelings is by mindfully acknowledging and accepting them without judgment. Mindfully acknowledging and accepting them without judgment, which can be done through self-compassion, mindful observation, and labeling the feeling. Again, being a compassionate witness of yourself. It is so important to be a compassionate witness of yourself, to have mindful observation of what's going on. Where is it showing up in your body? Is there a pattern? Does this keep happening? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it every year at this time? When is this happening? And then obviously it's labeling the feeling. Overwhelmed, unloved, sad, scared, helpless, hopeless. Get into your emotional wheel and really try and dig down deeper. And usually the best place to do this is in a quiet place. Could be on your bed, could be on a couch, but you want quietness. You want stillness in the air. You don't want a bunch in a place of commotion. You want to be really still because you want to connect with the breath, soften your thoughts, Ground yourself before you do this. Maybe even right in the moment when you have this greater level of self-awareness, you're going to see this shift in you. You're going to see the mood shifts. And this is exactly what you jump into. Being compassionate. Oh, whoa, what just happened? Curiosity. Whoa. Okay, I'm overwhelmed right now. Wow. What just happened here? Okay, let me sit with this. Oh, I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous. It's coming up right here in my heart. Well, let's just sit with being nervous for a little bit. Let's figure out the root of why I'm nervous. Powerful stuff. I'm so thankful that you're here. So another part of that is, and some other helpful practices include focusing on the physical sensation of the emotion, journaling, and engaging in self-care activities like talking with friends, exercising, or spending time in nature. Right? Grounding, earthing, breath work exercises, right? Positive frequencies, maybe without the music when you're trying to really connect with yourself. I highly recommend 528-963-432 frequencies. Search any of those and just sit with it. It's really powerful. It's really soothing, very, very soothing to listen. But definitely that time in nature is probably the best. It's probably the best soother to really bring yourself into a more calm state of being, greater level of acceptance, accepting yourself fully. Right? This is what we're trying to do, is get to the deeper levels of acceptance. It's a powerful thing. It's really powerful that you're here. This is an incredible lesson. So a few areas where I want to really drill down even more to help support you really reflect this week is mindful acceptance and self-compassion. So you want to acknowledge without judgment. Without judgment. Maybe someone judged you as a child. Maybe you judge others. Maybe you judge yourself still. Again, when you have self-awareness, you need to try and get to a place of neutrality. Not so high, not so low. You just want to be present, become the observer. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now is a great book to really start to become the observer. You're not your body. You're not your feelings. You're not even your thoughts. You got to start experiencing these things and disconnecting, creating separation with compassion, no judgment. So allow yourself to feel the emotion without criticizing yourself for having it. Right? You don't want to put yourself down. You want to really be that nurturing parent. Imagine every time that you have a feeling that shows up, and it shows up in some of the most untimely parts of our day. And yet, when it does show up, that's a real opportunity for us to be that compassionate parent, to reparent ourselves. Think about your mood as your inner child coming to you with the mood. That takes a massive amount of self-awareness, really being centered on yourself. And if you can just imagine that exchange, the mood is the inner child trying to say, hey, will you see me? Because that's actually what's really going on there. If I paint the picture, even though you're feeling it in the now, if you trace back the origin, the root, it's from childhood. Something's coming up, and there's a pattern there. I guarantee it. But again, we want to be neutral. And remind yourself that it is okay to feel what you're feeling. Be super dad, be super mom. Be that empathetic witness to yourself. Imagine the mood being the inner child. Some of you, a great thing to do, to get on your phone, to find a picture of you as a kid. Do you have a picture of you as a kid? And if you're in a relationship, what's also really powerful is for you to have a picture of is for you to also have a picture of your spouse as a child. Has anybody ever heard this stuff? This is really, really, really powerful stuff. Is for you to actually have video pictures of you as a child and as your spouse as a child. Because when your spouse, if you're in a relationship, when your spouse is acting out or being emotional or being overwhelmed or whatever feelings they're doing that sometimes can lead to conflict, it's their inner child as well. And y'all are mirroring each other's stuff. And so you need to realize that when they're coming to you with maybe even what can be a tantrum, it's from their inner child. So you're dealing with that little boy or that little girl. And it's the same with yourself. No judgments. Let your judgments go. Take a breath. Breathing is so important throughout this process. Allowing your mind to soften. Next up, you want to practice self-compassion. Again, speaking to yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend or a little child. A little child walking in your room right now, crying or being upset. Would you get frustrated and angry and irritated? Shut up! Get out of here! Go away! I don't have time for you. And maybe that's the old version of you. No judgment. I know that there's been times in my life I'm so overwhelmed. I didn't have the emotional capacity. This was a big part of the broken man, the wounded man. I realized that I was emotionally unavailable, and that's why I would numb out. That's why I was getting high and getting drunk and checking the fuck out. I was emotionally unavailable to even check in with my own emotions, and definitely I couldn't deal with anybody else's. But let's change that. Let's heal that part of you. And it starts by you healing the little part of you that's hurting. So speak to yourself with greater levels of compassion. So you also want to focus on physical sensation. It's really, really important. Where is it showing up? Is it in your abdomen, your chest, your legs, your arms, your head? Where, when you are emotionally activated and being stimulated in a negative, a mood shift, where is it showing up? Pay attention to where you feel the emotion in your body, as this can help you connect with it and ground yourself. There's deeper lessons in terms of if it's the right side or the left side. If it's the right side, that's connected to your patriarchal ancestral line. So your fathers, whether you know them or not, biological fathers, like that, literally pain on the right side of your body is connected, right? And if it's on the left side, it's connected to your mother's ancestral line. No cap. That's real facts. But that's another lesson for another day. You just want to be connecting with it so you can breathe into it. It's good to really connect with the breath. You want to breathe into it, right? And just sit with it and allow for it to release. Allow your body in that area to release, whether it's in your heart, your chest, your abdomen, your neck, your back, your shoulders, wherever it's coming up. Just really, that's why it's good to be laying down and just to let yourself relax. Release the tension. So next, you want to really get into identification and exploration, right? Name the emotion. Try to identify and label the emotion you are experiencing. Using the emotional wheel can be helpful. It's actually essential for you to really sit with it until you have it. Again, obviously in the volume 1 journal, it's a full page sheet. You may just want to have the emotional wheel on your phone, something that you can just bring up real quick, like, right? It doesn't have to be, carrying that sheet around with you, but something that you want to become more and more and more masterful of, improving your emotional literacy. So further, in terms of identification and exploration, you want to ask non-judgmental questions. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? Right? Ask compassionate and non-judgmental questions about the feeling, such as, start rating it. How intense? 1 to 10, right? Is this a 1 or is this a 5 or 7? Right? You can also ask what thoughts are coming up. What were you thinking right before the mood shifted? Again, this is self-mastery in the self-awareness. And you want to acknowledge to yourself the circumstances of the feeling. What are you experiencing in life in that moment? What's happening, right? And say it's okay. Fuck, I got a lot of shit going on right now. It's actually okay to be overwhelmed. It's actually okay to be scared. So it's actually okay to feel a little hopeless right now. It's actually okay to be, right, feeling rejected, whatever is coming up for you, frightened, whatever it is. Acknowledge it and say it's actually okay to feel this way. Does that make you weak? No, it makes you strong. Because again, what are we trying to do here? What is the big picture? We're trying to process and release our emotions. We're trying to release. This is the healing. This is it. Sitting and processing our emotions and our feelings. This is actually healing in action. It's beautiful. And I'm so grateful for you to be here. So you want to also understand its purpose. Recognize that emotions can provide insight. It is literally the inner child, the past version of you, right? Because the emotion it's a memory. It's the body keeping score, which is an incredible book. There is a book. I highly recommend it. The Body Keeps Score. It's your body is reminding you that this happened. And guess what? There's something similar happening that's a reminder of that. Doesn't have to be a carbon copy, perfect repeat of what happened, but it's a survival mechanism. And your body is reminding you. It's wanting you to say, hey, do you see me? I'm hurting. I'm scared. But a lot of times when we're checked out, when we're trying to avoid and escape, I don't want to feel this way. What do I need? Let me eat. Let me get drunk. Let me get high. Let me shop. Let me game. Let me watch sports. Let me check out. Instead of just let me sit. If you're in the let me sit, let me process, let me really understand myself and accept myself, and I want to master myself. If you're in that, I want to have mastery over who I am in any and all situations. I want to trust myself. That's where I was. That's what got me going. It's what keeps me going. Then you're in the right place. So you want to act as a soothing, loving, caring, kind person with yourself. Be who you always needed growing up. And I've been demonstrating that and really talking through that in this lesson. Be the super parent. Be the super mom, the super dad. Be that compassionate, caring, empathetic witness to that inner child, to that part of you that's wounded, that's just needing to be seen and heard. That's all it wants to do. It just wants to be in. It's like every time that you're able to just experience it. And if you need to cry, and we're so afraid to just express these emotions, but if you don't do that, it's going to come out in anger, frustration, irritation, and you're going to leak all of that out onto people, and you're going to land up hurting other people that you care about and probably pushing them away. And when you push people away, guess what? You land up alone, which can be a good thing. If you need to do that, it's going to be a good thing. There's a healthy way to do it, creating boundaries. There's an unhealthy way of doing it, hurting others, isolating yourself. But yet, there you are now, all alone. And now you're in the right place, doing the work. So, some healthy processing methods. You guessed it, journaling. Write down your thoughts and feelings in a journal to process them in a structured way. Always be willing to get to the root of a reoccurring feeling. Always get to the root. Look for the pattern. And obviously this takes having the awareness. You're having this lesson now, so Day 44, right? Start tracking the way you feel. Start tracking this stuff. And as you start to see the patterns, you can be like, oh, and then you're tracking it from when it's coming up and what you're thinking about, being present with yourself. And then you can start going deeper. What's the root? When was the first time I ever felt that? That's what you ask yourself. When was the first time I felt this way? And if you have the fuzzy childhood memory, I promise you, if you sit with yourself enough, you will get the answer. The answer will be revealed to you. Don't give up. So mindfulness and meditation is also an important part of processing feelings. So you want to use practices like doing guided meditation, breath work, and grounding to increase your awareness and learn to sit with your feelings without trying to change them. That's an important piece. Don't try and change your feelings. When it comes up, just give it a name, be present with it, identify it, score it, and just sit with it. Experience it. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to cry, cry. Sit with it. Don't try and change it. When we're trying to change it, that's escaping. That's trying to alter. I don't want to feel this way. I want to feel better. That's the root of all addiction. And furthermore, you want to talk to somebody. You don't have to do this alone. Share your feelings with a trusted friend or a therapist or coach, especially if your emotions feel so overwhelming. Right? When you get to the depths, there can be some suicidal ideation. There can be a feeling of despair where you don't want to exist anymore. And I'm telling you, that is not the answer. That is never the answer. That is never the answer. Because again, your emotions are literally rooted in your past. So you've already survived the situation that put the emotion in you, that created that experience to feel it. You need to sit with it and process it. But sometimes you do need someone to hold that hand with you. And by a trusted friend, I hope this is someone that's sober, that's really like moving in a pretty powerful way. Because most people will go to a friend or a trusted one and want them to be the therapist, and they're not capable of that. So I always say, swerve on the friend, right? It's good to have people around you supporting you, but professional help, and definitely people like myself that have been through the fires and are actually living a life worthy of being emulated and really showing people how to move through some pretty heavy stuff. So just know you don't have to do it alone. And that's why you're here. And finally, you want to engage in self-care. Ensure you are getting enough sleep, exercise, making time for relaxation. Yes. If you're so wound up, make sure that you relax. But I'm going to tell you, the one thing that's probably not the best use of relaxation is doom scrolling, virtual reality. Like real relaxation is like getting in a hammock, right? Taking a nice nap and like really like in some, I've talked about it previously, doing like a little bedroom makeover, right? New bedding, maybe a topper, like really making sure your bedroom, your space is sacred and it's clean and it's restful and it's a place where you can recharge and rejuvenate and relax. Maybe burn some sage, burn some cedar, whatever you need to really just ground yourself. And then obviously one of my favorites, spending time out in nature. Getting out in nature. Such a beautiful thing to do. This isn't going to get you completely into the mastery of it, but I think that this is probably one of the most important lessons that we've done to this day. And guess what I'm seeing right now? 11:11. So perfect alignment here. You can't make this stuff up. 11:11. Grateful for that. Grateful for you. I want to leave you with this quote. You don't have to be positive all the time. It's perfectly okay to feel sad, angry, annoyed, frustrated, scared, or anxious. Having feelings doesn't make you a negative person. It makes you a human. And see the humanity in you, see the humanity in others. Everyone's going through something. Work on you, and you'll improve this planet. I'm so grateful to have shared this lesson with you today. I thank all of you for being here. It means the world to me that you're here, a part of this 1% better every day journey. Stay locked in. We're going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper as we get through volume 2. The next, we still got some time, don't we? 44 days. So we still got about 60 days. So stay locked in, keep going. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.